Hi, I am Danielle Peck. In my presentation for EDC 1200, I will be discussing the ongoing issue of body image and how education might mediate difference and dominance. Even though Australia prides itself in its multiculturalism and diversity, its collective identity idolises physical perfection. However, we are all different in some way. Otherness is a state of being different from the norm, and it is essential to the state of group identity. While going through the stages in discovering who and what we are, we realise what we are not. The concept of identity refers to a definition of who you are, where you are going, and where you fit into society. We are the outcome of interactions between oneself and the array of social forces. Identity only becomes an issue when it is in crisis, when something assumed to be fixed, coherent, and stable is displayed by the experience of doubt and uncertainty. Self-esteem tends to decrease from childhood to early adolescence, partly because adolescents are more knowledgeable about their strengths and weaknesses, partly because they sometimes become unsure of themselves, and partly because they become unhappy with their changing bodies. These uncertainties are reinforced by constant media presentations of what is socially acceptable and what is not. Is this perfect? How we see ourselves is merely a reflection of the ways in which the rest of the world see us. We come to internalize images of ourselves that have their points of origin externally to us. Although some would argue that Jennifer Hawkins' body does not portray the average female, Julie Parker, General Manager of the Butterfly Foundation, an eating disorder support group, believed that having Jennifer as the face of this article will gain attention and raise awareness for the group in a more effective way. Individuals assume an identity based on a feeling or perception of commonality with others, whose essential characteristics are able to be identified, named and compared, and ultimately accorded value. Identity occurs through the construction of a dichotomous relationship, for example, normal deviant, same different, self other. Identity is formed along, between and among these axes. Identity resides within a matrix of possibilities that are constantly in motion with particular axes, assuming greater or lesser importance in particular time or place. In a social sense, it is typically the case that one end of an axis will reflect or come to be associated with characteristics of a dominant group. This comes to constitute the centre. The opposite end marks of the margin. The self becomes the centre and the other is relegated to the margin. The boundary between is difficult to identify. These are unclear, not fixed nor stable. In these blurred boundaries is the space where new identity possibilities are formulated. Part 2. I have aimed my lesson for grade 5 as this age is most impressionable. In small groups, students will pass around laminated picture cards illustrating people of varying appearance. Written on the back of these cards will be a few positive attributes related to every individual. Group and or one-on-one reading stories that highlight differences amongst people. After all learning activities, there will be guided discussions in relation to how the students have felt in previous situations where they have been deemed different, race, religion or appearance. Here we will discuss ways in which they can deal with these differences in a positive way so they can be embraced, thereby enhancing the experience of the rich diversity found amongst the population. Role plays will be incorporated into the classroom setting, where the students will form groups and dress up as different characters, alternating by being either the in, out, overweight, underweight character. The focus will be on expressing one's feelings, be it that the particular out character or the in. The outcome of this lesson will show that everyone has feelings, no matter who they are or what they look like. We all have feelings. My aim is to develop a learning environment that fosters positive thinking. I will suggest opportunities to be part of a team or a club, encourage exercise and the possibility of learning new skills. All these and many more are geared towards promoting self-esteem. As education environments reinforce dominant images of self and other, it is vital to incorporate subtle teaching into the daily curriculum addressing these issues. References. References. References.